Welcome back, YouTube. So this is going to be a slightly different type of video. This will be the first in a design series. One thing that a lot of different YouTubers I found don't do is they don't show you how they design things. Now I know Adam Savage briefly touches on it when he's doing stuff for Tested, and a few others do, but it's usually, hey, here's my design, here's how it's built, and they build it. So today I'm going to start showing you how I go about designing things. Now, I just got a possible commission for a DVD rack. The first thing you have to do is talk to your customer, or if it's just you figure out what you need. What parameters do you need to follow, and what parameters do you want? I always write down a list of needs and wants. So this woman needs 5 to 6 shelves. She has 298 DVDs, but she wants to be able to hold 525. She would like it made out of pine, and the shelves are going to sit level. So the shelves would sit like this orientation as opposed to something rocked back a little bit so that when you check it out, you can, it's angled up at you. What she wants: wooden flowers, maybe a wooden dragon, a black cherry stain, and she wants it as cheap as possible. So some of these are going to get leveled out while trying to preserve as much of this as possible. So, let's begin. Now that we have our list of needs and wants, we need to figure out what size to make each shelf. Now again, this is just a copy of my favorite movie. Start by turning on my calipers. Oh, it looks like they're not working. Interesting. Either way. So a DVD is, let's see here. Let's give it a little bit of a push. We'll say it's 6/10 of an inch thick. They are too big for that. They're approximately 7.5 inches tall. So let's do 8. And the shelf has to be 5.5 inches deep. Let's see what this says. Yeah, so let's do just over 1/2 inch wide. So let's do 5/8 of an inch. So now to get the primary width of the shelves. 325. Divide that by 5. 6. I know, I'm doing long division. It's scary. Hold with me. Alright, so I need 65 per shelf. So 65 times 5/8 of an inch. You know, I forget how to cross multiply. I'm going to grab a calculator and I'll be right back so I don't embarrass myself too much. Still remember long division though, so we're good. I think it should multiply that and then multiply that and divide it out. Now, calculator's going to be much easier. And I need to figure out why this is not working any longer. I'm very upset by that. Alright, now that I had to embarrass myself and use a calculator, it turns out to be 40.625 inches. So we will round that up just a hair more and make that 41 inches. Now, the next thing to do is, since I'm a draftsman, I always find what scale would work best. And I'll go into another video on how to use scales. But 1/8 says 41. Yeah, I think we'll use 1/8 scale. So now we got that marked out. Start over here at 40. And I'm going to do a series of lines here. So I can do at least 3 designs. And now each one has to be a certain height. So you're going to have 5 shelves times 8, which is 40 inches. And I always give it a little bit of a foot on the bottom when I'm making something that has to sit on the floor. Just because if there's any spills or anything, or just miscellaneous stuff, you don't want it to sit right on the floor and soak that up. It preserves the integrity of the wood and whatever you're storing on the wood. So we'll do 40, and we will give it plus 1 inch on the bottom. So 41 inches tall, which none of these shelves will fit on this sheet. So let's go to the next sheet. And I'll stop here and just speed up everything so you can just see it work and come to life. Alright, so as you've just seen, I've kind of sketched this out to 1/8 of an inch equals 1 inch. So it looks a little funky. And I didn't use a square or anything. This is just to get a sketch for approval to see what kind of a cost we're looking at and if she wants to proceed. So I'll make the sides out of just a single piece of wood, 6 inches wide by 37 inches tall. And then I'll just make the shelves out of whatever hardboard I can find, just cheaper plywood. I will take a longer support and split it down the center, and then attach it to the tops and the bottom, and that will become the back support. And then to actually mount the shelves themselves, I'll just put these little square braces in. I mean, here and here I'm going to have to trim them down to fit. But this should give a very handsome shelf. Something that has a little bit of a flair of elegance. But at the same time is not so much that it'll be very expensive. Now the next thing is to determine cost. This is a very minimal shelf. This is the only real flourish or embellishment. So that'll keep the cost down significantly. I mean, I can just cut this straight on the bandsaw out of a straight grain piece of pine, bend it, clamp it, maybe pop a couple screws in it. These I can just go over to my parents' house, cut a piece of any type of wood on a table saw. This will just be a glue and screw job. So very simple, easy to take down if needed. Otherwise, it will, I don't know, collect dust in DVDs and hopefully look pretty. So the first thing when doing to determine cost is, what is your shop rate? Now that's all your overhead plus time and materials. I usually don't count the materials since the work I do is so varied, and I add that in as a separate thing. So I work for $30 an hour. Now, I'm not making $30 an hour. That's what it costs to have me in the shop and run it. I can see this taking, that'll be a half hour. That'll be a half hour. That'll be an hour, 2 hours, 3. So let's say this will take me 4 hours. This one here, which is $120. Now, you take that and then you add in your peripherals. Now, my consumables and shop maintenance and everything is already added into this. Screws, glue, finish, that stuff. Like a polyurethane finish or black paint. Now, for everything else, there's an added cost. She wants a black cherry finish, which that's going to be another $20. And the wood, that'll be 1 board, 2 boards, so that's 3, 8, 10, and let's say another $20 for the shelves. So materials, $30. And it's just a simple matter of addition and subtraction to get that. And I can work on my shop rate a little bit. I am going to give her the friends and family discount. I won't go into that on here, but we'll see what we can come up with. So this set of shelves here would be $170. And she lives up in New York, but I am not going to charge her to come up and install it. So I'll go through the next 3. I'll price them out. I'll do all the same stuff, and I'll do this. I won't go into any more explanation on how I get to where I get, but you'll see me come up with some numbers, figure that out, and I'll see you at the end of the video. Alright, so what I did instead of resketching this whole thing is I just sketched the back pieces, which would be just changing the support here. This is really too small to do anything with, the depth of it. But she wanted the option for a dragon, which I figure will cost me another 3 hours of labor, probably another 20 bucks in finish, just because I have to get in all the nooks and crannies and stuff and really let it soak in. And then probably another $70 in materials, just to make it look exactly right, because I'm going to have to get a big pattern and stuff and make it look good, get it laid out. So that'll take a lot more time. So that would add another $180 to the $170. Now I have option 3, flowers. So I figured get 3 boards, glue them edge to edge, cut out some big circles, and then do something more artistic about it. Instead of making actual flowers or carving flowers in, I was thinking about cutting slots through the wood itself, which I wouldn't need to be precise because it's, you know, it's an organic shape and everything. And then trim the edges down to give it a little bit of fluff. And that would, again, replace this. Now that would take more time, about 4 hours. Again, more finish, so another 20 bucks. But the materials would be significantly less because it's all free form. So that would add about $170 onto the project. So now the next step is to take pictures of this, send it to my potential client, and that'll be pretty much it. And this concludes my design, my first design video. If you guys like this, please like, comment, and please don't be shy about commenting. I want to hear what you say. And for more content, please subscribe. I upload new videos every Friday.